What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So we're gonna go over this past weekend. It's Sunday. I went to the track yesterday, which was May 23rd, and went down to test. That was the main reason I was down there. They postponed the Speed for All event because there was two big bracket races going on at two other tracks they didn't want to compete with. So they postponed the Speed for All event until a later date, but they decided to open up, have a box no box race for those that weren't going to those two races. They still wanted to give the racers that weren't going somewhere to race. So they opened it up, had a box no box race, and opened up Test and Tune. I figured the car count was going to be low. It'd be a good chance to go down and test, so that's what we did. I also wanted to show my support. I think that's really cool that they opened it up, knowing that there probably weren't going to be very many cars that showed up, but giving everybody somewhere to race if they weren't going to those two big bracket races. Nothing really changed on the car, but the first index race we went out, and I got knocked out first round, so I didn't get to make very many passes. So I needed to go down and get a good baseline since I fixed the throttle linkage, figure out where the car is really at. Ended up making a total of 6 or 7 passes, but we'll show you the first one.
Wasn't gonna do any good to get mad, so I wrote a song about him instead. It goes like this. Were ye born an asshole, or did you work at it your whole life? Either way it worked out fine, 'cause you're an asshole tonight. Yes, you're an A-S-S-H-O-L-E. Don't you try to blame it on me.
So first pass was against KJ Rogers. He's got a big tire Monza. I left on him, beat him on the tree. He caught up to me, started to pass me, and then I don't know what happened, but I drove back around him. Ended up going in 8:39. Not bad for the car. Everything was cold. The car always runs better when it's hot, so I just kind of, took that as, okay, we're going to go faster than this, so that's not a problem. So the second pass, I ended up lining up against the silver Camaro. Somebody I actually followed on TikTok last year. She won a race at Coles County, and so she posted on her TikTok. I saw it, was like, well, she's racing at Coles County. She's from around here somewhere. But I actually got to meet her and her boyfriend yesterday. They're really cool. She did a lot of work to her car over the winter to do engine upgrades, cam, converter, rear end gear, all that kind of stuff. She's trying to grow her following, so if you guys want to follow her on TikTok, you'll see it right here. It's Myra2SS. But it's always cool to see another street car versus me, see kind of where we're at. But I'll show you guys that one here. So I ended up going at 836. Beat her pretty good, but she said she was having issues all day. She did end up running a pass at the end of the day, 790, which is what she was trying to do. But moved on to the third pass, race Jim Crowder. He runs Little Gangsters class, and big block Nitro Chevelle. I'm sure you can imagine how this is going to go. But we'll show you this one here. So the car spun out of nowhere, no idea what was going on. I ended up going at 856. Killed 2 or 3 tenths out of the 60 foot. So I got to figure out what's going on. So I go through my process, start looking at, what have I changed? Has anything changed? Has the air changed? Has the track changed? Anything like that? Can't find anything. So I go back and I write down all of where my shock settings are. Now I don't go changing anything immediately. I want to make another pass to see if it's going to do the same thing or not. So I go up there again, end up racing Myra again, and I'll show you guys this one.
We suck again!
So it spun again, not as bad. I'm like, okay, so we go back, and I ended up going at 847, but still spun. So I go back and I look at the videos and I see the nose comes up and then it drops drastically. Now, whether it was dropping because it spun or if it was hitting the top of the shock shaft and that's what was causing it to unload, I didn't know. But I'm like, first thing, I'll slow down the rate because I always run the front shocks completely loose on rebound just to try to get it to transfer as much as I can. So I tighten the rebound up 2 clicks, go up again. This time I got Jim again. So I'll show you guys this one.
We suck again!
Have to buy for those boxes around.
So I went 844, still had a light spin, about as bad as the pass before, so the shock change that I made didn't make any difference. So I went back, loosened the front shocks up all the way again, decided to go mess with the rears. The rear shocks have been on here for a long time. I didn't know if maybe they were starting to get weak, or if because I'm running a radial, the shocks were too tight. So I'm like, well, maybe they just got the track prep differently and I just need to tune my car to make sure it'll go down it. So put the front shocks back where they were, and then I softened up the rear shocks 2 clicks just to see what would happen. Ended up going up racing this white 4th-gen Camaro that had a turbo or ProCharger or something on it. I saw an intercool and heard it whistling. But I'll show you guys that one.
We suck again!
Zero traction whatsoever. I boarded the run, just cruised on down the track, was like, okay, well, if that made it worse, then maybe I need to go 2 clicks the other way. So I go back to the pits, 2 clicks back to where it was, and then went 2 clicks tighter, thinking maybe if loosening it up made it worse, going the other way would hopefully make it better. Either the shocks had started to wear out and I needed to trick them into being tighter the way to make it the rate that it used to be, or if just with the radial, if it wanted to put more weight on the back as it transferred. So that was kind of the mojo that was going on through my brain. But went up for the last pass of the day against Jim. I'll show you guys that one.
We suck again!
So 0 traction again. No idea what was going on at this point. It had gotten worse and worse and worse. The only pass that didn't spin in the right lane was the first one, so I don't know if it's the lane or if it was something else going on. But the fact that it was getting worse was making me kind of figure out some things. That car never spins on hardly anything. So if it is spinning, there's something wrong, whether it's with the track or with the car. Very rarely is it the car. But there was 2 things that I was wondering. One was the posi starting to go bad in the rear end and it was only spinning 1 tire, or were my tires going away? The Mickey Thompson radials that I've had for 4 years. They've gone through 2 full seasons of bracket racing. There's hundreds of passes on them. So I don't know if I just burned them up or if just with age they've gotten hard. But I went out in the country and did a burnout to see if both tires were spinning, which they were. So I think my tires are just shot. It sucks that I went down. I feel like I wasted a day. I mean, I didn't waste it because I figured it out. I'd rather do it when I'm testing than lose during an actual race because of that. But the car just needs tires. So add that to my list of things to do before the next index race. I'm going to try to have a new set of tires and a vacuum pump on it. Jim offered up a set of radials that he's got sitting around that he tried on his car and ended up going back to a slick. So I think I'm going to buy those ones from him. They're a little bit better radial than what I got. They are a Hoosier instead of a Mickey, which is something I've been wanting to try. Hoosier came out with those DR3s, which is not what these are. These are just the drag bracket radial. But I've wanted to try a set of Hoosiers on the car just to see how it acts. Just trying to make it hook on anything where I can go anywhere, anytime, prep, no prep, doesn't matter, the car will go. While still being on a radial. Because I feel like the car is faster on a radial than it is with a slick. Obviously, the slick's going to have better traction, but I think it's going to 60 foot harder and possibly mile an hour better with the radial. And if I get used to running a radial on the car now, then later on in life when I throw a power outer on it or build a better motor, whatever, when I can actually use a radial to its full potential, the car's already set up for it. Rear shocks are something I got to look at over the winter just to make it, work the way it's supposed to. Right now the bars are just kind of wherever they are. It's still got factory triangle 4-link, but the shocks that are on it are definitely not set up for radial. They are maxed out. They can compress. I can control the rate that they come back up, but it's got no room for extension. And the bar angles aren't trying to make it extend anyway. It's squatting. So I got some work I got to do there to make everything jive. But for now, tires, vacuum pump, get that stuff on, try to go down and test before the next index race. And I missed the last one, and I'm going to miss the one in June due to National Guard stuff. but the one in July, I'll be able to make it to. So just try to get as much stuff done as possible. I'm not chasing points or anything, so I'm not losing points, but I still don't want to show up and be the duck first round. So I got to get this stuff figured out. Car sat most of last year. I'm just fighting some bugs from it sitting. That's all it is. So I just got to figure this stuff out. But we'll get it figured out. Like I said, I got tires lined up. I already know what I'm going to do for the brakes to try to make it leave harder. So hopefully next time I go to the track, I'm going to try my best to run a personal best. I'm going to have good tires that I know will work and a vacuum pump that's going to allow me to leave harder. So I'm really excited for that. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next one.